My sisters and brothers in Christ, today we have heard this scripture reading from Matthew about what must be our transformation to be in the kingdom of heaven. And we have a very excellent example today of a woman who exemplifies the living out of that gospel passage. Saint Therese of Lisieux, also known as Saint Therese, the little child, also known as Saint Therese of the face, meaning the face of God, and Saint Therese of the little flower, perhaps many other wonderful acclamations of Saint Therese. She is one of the great saints of our church. Popes have come to know her. Clergy have come to know her. And the laity have come to know Saint Therese. In France, one of the most visited pilgrimage sites is Lourdes. But the second most visited shrine in France is at the Basilica of Saint Therese of Lisieux. It's interesting to note what kind of family did she come from. Her father, very strong and practicing Catholic, had felt a calling to religious life. He was rejected. He didn't know Latin. He was rejected. And the mother of Saint Therese wanted to enter religious life. She too was rejected. But the interesting note here is her parents became the only Catholic couple in Catholic history that became canonized saints. The only Catholic couple that were canonized. That's the kind of family Saint Therese came from. A remarkable family. And even when her parents married, they were planning on no marital relations. And the priest of the parish said, no, you're married. Marital relations. And sure, they fulfilled the parish priest. They had 9 children. 3 of the children died at birth. 1 of the child died in infancy. But here, another important note. 5 of the daughters became nuns. This couple truly exemplifies for all couples what I as a priest have insisted in preparing couples for marriage. I'm more hands-on than most priests. I insist they have a sacramental relationship with Jesus Christ to be married in the Catholic Church. Many come just for the show, the day of the wedding. That's not enough. A wedding is no more than the day. It's the marriage. And if you look over on the stained glass windows, the two rings, reminding us of sacramental marriage. The couples are called to live as a couple of three. Not of two, but of three. Husband, wife, and Jesus. The couple living a sacramental life, and I encourage couples to be involved in marriage encounter. Strengthen your sacramental marriage. Centuries had many tragedies in her life. The most consequential tragedy in her life was the death, early death of her mother. And I took a quote from her mother. She went to Lourdes. She prayed for a miracle. She had a tumor that was advancing that ultimately would take her life. But here's the quote. The Mother of God has not healed me. This is at Lourdes. Because my time is up. And because my time is up, and because God's will to me is that I repose elsewhere than on earth. I use a word that most clergy don't use anymore, resignation. But not just resignation, holy resignation. Her parents both experienced, it's not God's will for you to become a religious man or a religious nun. They accepted with holy resignation, as well as death. She was a sickly child, and the death of her mother traumatized her. She became withdrawn. She had tremors. She shied away from others. She had an inkling that she wanted to become a nun. And at different times, she was very young. The religious order said, no, you're too young, no. Eventually, she did go in at the age of 15, which is very young. And she became a nun, but she became a very humble nun. But before she became a nun, her dad had a stroke. And as she was visiting him, she was telling her dad, Dad, I had a conversion. She knew exactly when. It was one Christmas. After years and years of grieving and mourning and trauma, it was one Christmas, unexpected, And she knew instantly of her conversion. She went from sadness to joy. She knew it. And her dad, who was suffering the effects of the stroke, they were in a garden. And her dad, who was an important part of her life, picked up a flower from the roots and gave it to her and said, God has formed this flower and has protected it. This is how God is with us. He made us. He formed us. And he watches over us. And so she is given rightly Saint Therese of the Little Flower. In the convent, she discovers what anyone in religious life or priesthood finds. The nuns or priests can be small, little, belligerent. So many negative qualities. She saw it. She saw it in the convent with other nuns who were fickle, moody, all kinds of things, seeking higher. She turned away from that. She genuinely loved priests. Genuinely. She loved them. And she had many priest guides. But she was also aware that sometimes priests become like the society in which they live. She saw it. And instead of gossiping and belittling, which is very common these days, a priest, she chose another path. No, I'm not going to belittle priests or criticize priests. I'm going to pray for them. And she did. She went to the great holy people of her day, but she also was aware of priests in difficulty. One particular priest was having trouble. There was something wrong. There was something going on. And eventually, he was asked to leave. Eventually, he was excommunicated because of some of the things he was doing. But you know what she did? She didn't join in the murmurs and the complaints and the critiques. She prayed for that priest until her death. That's the kind of person she was. And further, the kind of person she was there was a man who had killed 2 adults and 1 child. She didn't kill the man, and he eventually was going to get the guillotine. Kill that man. What a horrible man. She didn't get into the fray of the people. She did the extraordinary. She prayed for that man who had murdered 2 adults and a child. And you know, she prayed for him continuously until he was prepared to get his head in the guillotine. She prayed for his conversion. The man to be executed reached for a crucifix. He took the crucifix and kissed it. Her prayer was answered. Conversion. To the end, there's so much about her life. Oh, I want to say this because it's what I've experienced as a priest. She died at a very young age, 24. And I've learned something over my 30 years of priesthood, doing so many funerals. It's not how long we live. It's how we live the life God gives us. Whether it be 5 months, whether it be 20 years, whether it be 80 years, the age isn't important. What's important is how do we live those days we live. As I said in the beginning, I'm a visual priest. And in a few moments after I've prepared the gifts that you will offer, you, the faithful, say a prayer of blessing upon the priest. I encourage the faithful to extend their hands. Most priests do anything but stay still and bow to receive your blessing to them. You are following what Saint Therese of Lisieux did. Pray for priests.